Voicemail. It began with a missed call. Alyssa came home at 7:49 p.m., 15 minutes later than usual. It was raining, and the bus had stalled twice on the way back from the office. She was soaked from the knees down, her tote bag sagging with water with receipts. Exhausted, she dumped her things on the kitchen counter, plugged in her phone, and kicked off her wet shoes. The apartment was dead quiet. Her roommate, Katie, was out of town visiting her parents in Denver. Alyssa didn't mind being alone. She liked the silence usually. Her phone buzzed once as it powered on. One missed call. One new voicemail. No caller ID. Just zeros. 000 She tapped on the voicemail and hit play, expecting a robotic spam message. Instead, she heard breathing. Then a man's voice, quite urgent. Hi, Alyssa? This is gonna sound crazy, but I think someone's in your house. I can see you. You're in the kitchen. Don't turn around yet. The voicemail cut off with a faint click. Her blood ran cold. She was standing in the kitchen, her heart pounding in her ears as she spun around. No one. Nothing. Just the hum of the fridge and the quiet ticking of the stove clock. The hell was that? She left nervously. Some kind of joke? A prank call? Her friend Jordan sometimes did dump the horror stuff like this, but even he wouldn't go this far. Still, she replayed the message just to be sure she had imagined it. Same breath, same warning, same don't turn around yet. She checked on the timestamp, 7:42. It was now 7:53 p.m. That meant the call had come through while she was still on the bus. Goosebumps rose along her arms. Maybe it was a pre-recorded, she responded. Maybe someone guessed she'd be in the kitchen. It was a 600-foot square apartment. Not hard to guess. Still, she felt exposed, seen. She checked the front door, locked, and the back door, locked too. She went to the windows. None of them were open. Everything looked untouched. Except, as she walked back into the kitchen, she noticed something near the pantry door. A single muddy footprint. Large, barefoot, facing outward. She hadn't been outside barefoot, and Katie hadn't been home in days. Her chest tightened. She grabbed a knife from the drawer. Slowly, she opened the pantry door. It creaked. The space was narrow and packed with dry goods. Nowhere for a person to hide, but she stared into the dark corners anyway, convinced there were eyes in waiting in the shadows. Nothing. Just as she was about to close it, her phone buzzed again. One new voicemail. Same number. She pressed play with a trembling thumb. You shouldn't have opened it. Her knees went weak. She stared back at the pantry. Nothing had changed, but she slammed the door shut and backed away. Still clutching the knife, she dialed the number back. No ring, no tone, just silence. Then breathing. Long, slow, what? Then a whisper. Behind you. She dropped the phone and spun around. The kitchen was empty again, but her reflection in the microwave door, it looked off. Her own face stared back at her, but something in the eyes was wrong. Wide, too wide, as if it knew something she didn't. Her phone buzzed again this time. It was a text. Unknown. Let me out. She didn't reply. She couldn't. Her fingers were shaking too much. Instead, she ran to the bedroom, slammed the door, locked it, and grabbed the aluminium bed Katie kept under the bed. She dialed 911. The dispatcher answered calmly. Alyssa tried to explain the voicemails, the messages, the footprint. She left out the part about the reflection. She didn't want to seem crazy. The dispatcher promised to send someone right away. 10 minutes passed, then a knock at the door. Alyssa peeked out her window. A police car idled at the curb. An officer stood outside. Tall, broad, shouldered, in uniform. He saw her in the window and waved kindly. Relief flooded her chest. She ran to the front door and opened it. The officer gave a slight nod. "Good evening, ma'am. You the one who called about a break-in?" "Yes. Yeah." She paused. "Can I see your badge?" He looked surprised, then chuckled. "Sure, smart." He showed her his badge. It looked real enough. "Mind if I take a look around?" he asked. She hesitated, then stepped aside. He walked in, eyes scanning the kitchen, the hallway. "You said the person might still be inside?" he asked. "I don't know. They left voicemails, said they could see me, that someone was here." He frowned, taking out a small flashlight. "Show me the pantry," he said. They walked to the kitchen. The footprints were gone, vanished. She blinked at the floor, confused. The officer opened the pantry, empty. "Happens all the time," he said. "People get spooked. Power of suggestion." "No. I heard the messages. I have them saved. Wait." She grabbed her phone and opened the voicemail app. Empty. Both messages were gone. The text was gone too. Her hands began to tremble. The officer gave her a long, slow look. "Why don't you sit down, okay? I'm gonna call this in." He stepped outside, supposedly to contact dispatch. Alyssa watched from the window as he stood by his car, talking to his radio. Then he stopped, turned, looked at her, and smiled. Not a polite smile. Not a cop smile. Something else. Something hungry. Her phone buzzed again. One new voicemail, unknown number. With shaking hands, she pressed play. "That's not a real cop. Don't let him back in." She froze. The man was already walking back towards the door. He knocked. "Alyssa?" he called. Voice just a little off now. "Everything okay?" She didn't answer. He knocked again, louder, then jiggled the doorknob. "Let me in, Alyssa." The voice had changed. Deeper. Wrong. She backed away from the door and ran to her bedroom, slamming it shut again. She grabbed the bat and shoved the dresser in front of the door. Another text buzzed. "Unknown. He's not outside anymore." She turned slowly. Behind her in the closet, the door opened. The door creaked open an inch. Another voicemail. "Let me out." The closet door creaked. Just a silver, but enough to see that it was dark. Too dark. Like it was swallowing the light from her bedside lamp. Alyssa backed against the far wall of her bedroom, heart hammering against her ribs. Her phone buzzed again. One new voicemail. Unknown number. She didn't want to hear it, but her thumb moved on its own. "I'm in the dark now. Don't open it. Don't speak to me. Just listen." Alyssa dropped the phone. Her breath came in sharp, fast gasps. From inside the closet, she heard something move, shift, like a body representing. Slow. She gripped the bat tighter, fighting the scream rising in her throat. Then, from inside the closet, 3 slow knocks. Not demanding, not aggressive. Patient. Like someone knocking to say, "I'm ready now." She lunged forward and shoved a chair against the closet door. Then she ran from the hallway, barefoot, bare feet slapping against hardwood. She didn't look back. At the front door she stopped, locked, chain still secure. The hallway was empty. No fake cop, no signs anyone had been there at all. She bolted it shut again, even knowing it didn't matter. She reached for her phone to call 911 again, but it was still in the bedroom, next to the closet. Nope, no way, not going back in there. Instead, she grabbed her laptop and tried to video call Katie. No answer. Then Jordan. No answer. She pulled up a web browser and searched 000000000 voicemail warning. Hundreds of posts, forums, Reddit threads, stories almost identical to hers. Someone left me a voicemail telling me not to move, said they could see me, told me not to open the door. I did anyway. I shouldn't have. Most of the users had stopped posting after that. Some had deleted their accounts entirely. She scrolled through dozens of comments, fingers twitching with. One user had replied on multiple threads, saying the same thing. If they're in the closet, don't open it. Don't speak to them. Don't even look at the door. Turn your mirrors around. They use reflections to move faster. Her eyes flicked to the mirror hanging in the hallway. She had walked past it, but now it showed something moving, just out of sync with her. A shape slid across the mirror surface like a shadow underwater. Her reflection stood still, but Alyssa was breathing hard. The reflection tilted its head. She covered the mirror with a sheet and then ran back to the living room, sat on the floor, clutching the bat in her chest. Another voicemail came in. She didn't want to answer it, but she had to. You're almost out of time. There's a third knocking coming. When it does, don't answer. Don't speak, or you'll be where I am. The voice was different, softer, familiar. She ruined it, played it again. It was Katie's voice. Another text arrived. I'm in the closet. Please, Alyssa, let me out. It's dark in here. Then another. I didn't die in Denver. He just took my voice. Alyssa's head spun. She ran to her email and pulled up her last message to Katie. The last one 3 days ago. Landing now. Dad's picking me up at the airport. Talk soon. It was a photo of a cloudy window and a boarding pass, but the timestamp. She zoomed in. The photo had been sent at 2:38 p.m., but the file name showed it was taken 3 days earlier. The day before she said she was landing, Katie never made it home. She froze. The third knock. Slow, heavy, like knuckles dragging across the wood. From the bedroom, from inside the closet, the sheet slipped from the hallway mirror. She didn't move, didn't speak. Another voicemail. Her phone, somehow now back at the table, lit up. You're still listening. That's good. He's weaker now. He needs you to open the door. Say his name. You have it. Don't. One more night. Just one. Then he has to leave. She turned the phone off, turned every light on in the apartment, and waited. The next morning, sunlight flittered through the blinds. Birds chirped outside. The apartment was quiet. Still, Alyssa hadn't slept. Her eyes burned, but she made it. No voicemails, no knocks. She tiptoed into the bedroom. The closet door was closed. She placed her ear against it. Nothing. Then she whispered, barely audible, Katie? Silence. She reached out for the handle. Something inside smiled.